But timing is fundamental, I think, regardless of whether you decide to move on at 6 minutes or 5 or 7 or whatever. It's important to stick to that, and it can be very easy to not realise how quickly time is going.
I would start with making sure that you gave the patient the golden minute. It helps show that you've got good interpersonal skills and that you've got good listening skills.
At the back of my mind, I had my consultation was split into 3. There was, the first sort of 3 minutes or so was data gathering. Then it was examining and coming up with a plan in my own mind, and then the next part was going through it with the patient and coming up with an agreed plan and summarising. And then I'd obviously got myself 1 minute for some wriggle room, and that generally worked.
And also considering whether there may be an examination that needs done or not, because if you don't plan for that, it could throw you off. And then making sure that always made 2 or 3 minutes at the end to do management and not have to rush it in the end.
And did you have any kind of models in mind, like best practice models?
So the models that I think are most useful are the Cambridge Calgary model and also the Pembrokeshire consultation model. But I think I tweaked them for my own uses. I think most people do.
Do you remember how you split up your time once you were actually in the room? And what would you suggest is a good amount of time to spend on data gathering, for example?
I personally had a 6-4 ratio in my mind where I would spend about 6 minutes data gathering and then the other 4 minutes hypothesising a diagnosis and negotiating a management and follow-up plan and trying to deal with hidden agenda.
I had a kind of a framework of the way that I knew I was going to do the cases, and I tried to adhere to that as well as I could, but I knew that if I tried to be too strict about my framework, if something took me left field, I'd really struggle to get back on track. If you don't want to be that strict, what I would suggest is that by 8 minutes you must be on to coming to conclude the consultation and coming up with some decisions.